Okay, back again, Animoji Gaming or e-commerce hall, I'm not sure, but this is actually one of the first recording of the digital recording of my dream gadget, which is connected into Zoom using the HDMI video capture. So yeah, everything was most likely still standard because yeah, this device is just dedicated for gaming purposes, so I just don't want to waste so many programs that want to be installed in here, especially when I cannot open the second storage yet due to the hard screw inside it. So I'm not sure what things that I want to do in here. It's around 10 minutes of video. So it's already pre-installed with Windows 11. So as you can see, the thing was basically, I already moved several things into these devices. I tried to change the resolution because I'm not sure why it is a little bit delay and the resolution is not as good as the real internal screen, even though basically it is duplicated. So I tried to extend whether it can fix the issue or not. I think it's most probably pretty similar. So the Windows 10 is just intended to be used for tablet, perhaps. That's the reason why they tried to put everything in the middle, just like any other OS, such as Linux or Unix or like a Mac or even a phone, Android or iOS. So most of the games that I've been installed in this computer is basically a very light games because even though there's a lot of resources that can be used in this device, but I just still wanted to play the nostalgic game first, even though the first game that I actually played was the Fast and Furious Showdown, which is pretty modern, even though this was a very bad game, especially when we try to compare to the old Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which is way more proper than this, even though this game is more focused on the story of the movie, but it's just has a very bad gameplay. And since I extend the display, so the main display is still the internal screen. So yeah, that's the reason why you cannot see the footage. So for some reason, there's already pre-installed application like a common social media application in here, which is, I don't know, I don't will definitely not browsing social media in computer. It's just not very ergonomic and it's pretty annoying unless I was trying to download many picture all at once from certain social media. I usually use certain tools in the Mac that can support that. But beside that, I just basically try to do an upload, perhaps, yeah, something like that, which is basically, of course, need to use the computer in order to maintain your internal storage of your personal handheld devices, because yeah, definitely we haven't seen any, well, except the micro SD. Well, you can still basically change your micro SD, but in iPhone it's just never been possible. So yeah, unless your iPhone is really have big storage, maybe it's definitely worth it. And beside that, the FPS is also way more small than they used to be in the internal screen. So that's the reason why the sound is also a little bit delay. I'm not sure, because if you compare to the console recording from the PlayStation 4 or the Nintendo Switch, it is just better. I'm not sure why. It just definitely become 24 frames per second, perhaps. Because yeah, my cheap HDMI video capture is just cannot record 60 FPS, but basically I don't really mind to use 30 FPS as long as there's no delay or there's no lagging, like the 24 FPS perhaps. I'm not sure. It's just look really not smooth. Not sure whether this is the game or just the HDMI video capture. So I actually didn't charge at the time that I first record on this stream gadget, the GPD WinMax to 6800U with the AMD RDNA 2 internal graphics, APU 680M. So maybe I just don't want to wear out the battery, but at some point, if you talk about a longer gaming, it's just definitely need to be plugged in all the time. Because yeah, if you talk about the battery usage in the house where you're not currently in mobile, it just doesn't make any sense. Maybe unless you are using a phone or tablet, that basically not really convenient to play with the cable connected. So the next game that I was tested was the Scarface, one of my favorite open world games in PlayStation 2. But for some reason, the games that I download for the PC is just so bad because there's no sound at all for some reason. That's the reason why I tried to order it from other people, which hopefully it has a sound. And for some reason, the save game is also located in the game directory itself. So that's the reason why every time I try to move the game, I already continue the last time that I have this game, that I play this game. So yeah, it is really annoying. For some reason, the resolution is just keep dropping into 480 pixel. Not sure why. Maybe I just forgot to save it, or the game is just stuck. So when I tried to use the 1200 pixel, it just definitely crashed for some reason.